Hi, Rachel.
Hi, Christina. How are
Thanks,
you?
thanks for joining. I'm good. How are you? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling today from the Philippines. I'm in the Philippines, and Ruben is in Spain at the moment.
Oh, great. Well, obviously, like you've been around with Scopio for some time now. I'm so happy to have you on. But I'd love to talk with you about how your life has changed this past year. But I'd love to know
Yeah.
how you made a business out of your passion and kind of like how things have changed now. Maybe a little bit about yourself also.
Okay. Oh, let's see. To begin with, so I'm Rachel, and I run the Gaming Traveler Instagram and blog. I run it with my partner, Ruben. So we've been together for like 6 to 7 years now, and the blog and Instagram started in 2015.
Mm.
Um, so in the beginning, we thought Instagram
That's a
would
while
help.
ago,
Yeah,
2015.
yeah. It's been a while. So, and a lot has changed, to be honest, since then, especially with Instagram. Um, Initially, we thought Instagram would be a way for us to generate additional traffic to our website because we were very focused on it. And then once we joined Instagram, we realized it's a very different world. And now it's like a standalone. It's very separate with the blog. So yeah, it's basically very visual, and you can build a business and work just around your Instagram. So it works totally separate with the blog.
Awesome. And how have things changed for you this past year?
Well, the biggest change is, of course, that we cannot travel together. So last year at around July, we decided that Ruben should go home because we were staying in the Philippines in the beginning of the year. And when the virus situation was starting around March, we actually had plans and like flights and all ready to go to parts of Asia that we haven't traveled to, Japan, Korea. So we already had the plan to go there.
Mm.
Everything is set up, and then the virus came. We didn't know that it would last. No one knew that it would last that long. And then finally, around July, we decided that he should go home so that because there are so much lockdowns and we don't know what would happen really. So it would be safer and better to just stay at home. And yeah, and now we haven't been together yet, although we are hoping that could change in the next few months. Really hoping, yeah.
And so have you been able to create content then with you guys being apart?
Ruben, luckily, around the summer in Europe, a couple of countries opened, and so he went on a van travel. So he got a van and traveled across Europe by land and went to a few countries that were still open at the time. And yeah, so he took all our camera gear with him, the drone and the our camera and lenses, and yeah, so he was just taking pictures, probably a little bit different than what we would usually do because together we would do more island trips or we would stay in hotels. And it's nice when he did the van travel, he actually did a lot of the things that we did when we started our account, which is more meeting people and then couch surfing if you're familiar with it. So he was just like staying with a lot of people, and also like we never really traveled in the van together, so he was doing a lot of stays in the van too. So yeah, a lot of nature travel for sure.
I mean, that must have been a scary move for you.
To not travel together or
I mean, like the fact that I mean, most of your content is around you guys together.
yeah, yeah, that it's something that we never thought will happen, of course, and we had to really think fast about so how long can we stay doing this because um, technically people like to see from us is
Yeah.
different country visiting different countries and where we going next. So we tried to mix a little bit of, or more of us, during the last few months. Like when he was doing van travel, so he shared a lot of it. And then a few times I had to share what's happening in the Philippines too. Like what am I doing? But not a lot of it, like because I'm more focused on personal things like health and family and things at home. But I tried to share a little bit of what's happening in the country while he's sharing what he's doing too.
Awesome. What was your best travel destination?
Oh, well, I probably think we would have the different answers for this. They say that what you're not seeing in your country, that's what you appreciate more. So I actually liked Portugal and France when we visited Europe together because the architecture and nature was very much different from what we see in Asia.
I'd love to know how, like, you can, if you've had your blog for like so long, since
Mm-hmm.
2015, how do you make your blog a business?
Mm, I guess like in the beginning, like bloggers will usually think that income will come from like ads in the website, and that's why all writers try to work hard on generating a lot of interest with what we write. So that's a lot of SEO work and a lot of research, a lot of SEO competition, and of course trying to stay relevant and creating like even if they're just articles, like also trying to make them very visual because it's all about travel. And but then when Instagram started, it became more focused on partnerships and sponsorships because of influencer work or tourism work, for example. So one part we were able to do a lot of influencer work, of course, like a lot of creators, but also on the other side, we were able to create a bespoke Instagram agency where we actually help solo entrepreneurs build their own social media and grow them into businesses which are not even related to travel. So we were able on the side we were able to work with um, fitness people, business coaches, and help them grow their personal brands.
That's awesome. Well, that's an interesting like way to group that. Do most of your customers, would they come to you, or do you have to like spend 30% of your time sourcing new customers?
That's a very interesting question. In the beginning, we didn't know that it will happen because we were just part of like a growing community who were very interested in Instagram and the business side of it, like entrepreneurs versus creators, actually. And
Yeah.
um, and it came almost as just a referral system. So when they are happy with the work and they just refer other people. So we were able to operate like the first few years just totally on a referral system. And so maybe this year we would consider doing more ads to reach out to new people and see what new possibilities are because of the new situation around business at the moment. Yeah.
I I would love to know, like, when did travel couples become like a thing? Like, how did that happen, and what is that community like to be a part of?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question actually because when we started we didn't even realize because we followed like people from different spaces, not only travel, and we didn't realize that the travel thing was starting until the big influencers were starting to pop up, and then people instead of because we were more focused on landscape photography in the beginning, we were not really putting our faces in the pictures because you don't need them with when you're writing guides, for example.
Yeah.
And then suddenly they were very popular in Instagram, and Instagram was starting to become more on the personal side than just um, well, aesthetic is still very important, but it's starting to because more and more accounts are starting every day. personal brand is starting to be very important. So couples started popping up, and then people wanted to know who's behind all those beautiful places. So yeah, so it's actually a big challenge for us because we're very shy when it comes to doing those things, and we started doing them. Yeah, so
So
that was a bit of a
do you
challenge. Yeah.
know, like, do you know the other couples? Like, do you guys meet up? Like, what is that?
It's funny because there are popular travel couples. There is almost like a travel couple, a beginner suite or beginner tool set or something. Because, for example, if you want beautiful nature photos, a lot of the couples, if they have the chance to go to Asia, they go to Bali, for example. So if you
Yeah.
go to Bali, you can actually meet a lot of them. Like you will just see so many people are there, or even just going to the
Yeah.
places, you see a lot of them. So we were able to meet a couple of couples actually. So yeah, it was very fun to see the similarities and the differences of how people work. And it's also fun because sometimes like traveling and thinking and working while traveling can a little bit be alienating because actually, like you mentioned, there are a lot of things happening. It's just not leisure travel actually all the
Yeah.
time. So, like meeting the couples who are also working on Instagram, you come to realize, oh, these couples also have the same challenges and all the and problems, and it was just nice to see all of that.
Uh-huh. And are there like Facebook groups and stuff? Do you guys keep in touch? Are there other groups, online groups?
Definitely, I think, well, not just for travel couples, but for anyone who is starting on Instagram. I think finding a community is very important. So definitely looking at Facebook groups, Instagram groups, or like other instant messaging groups. They're very important because it's networking. So you kind of learn a lot actually in these groups. And not only that, if you so like there are times during the journey because it's kind of an entrepreneurial journey too, if you look at it. There are the ups and downs, and it's always nice to have that community behind you so that you know people are experiencing the same and you know you never feel down or you know someone can push you up if you feel down.
Yeah, that's sweet. We have another question. What's the biggest challenge you've ever faced so far while traveling?
Hmm. Um, to be honest, the biggest challenge is not even will not even be travel related because Ruben is a very seasoned traveler. He's been to 90 countries,
Wow.
and I've been to just 20 plus. So I'm just starting
Just,
traveling. Yeah, very newbie, and Ruben knows how to travel in the best ways possible. I think the biggest challenge is actually um, being in a relationship and using that as the main element of your work is
yeah,
there's just a lot of especially this year 2020 and looks like this year too, being confined in one space has been very hard for a lot of travelers because it's just you're not going out to explore and then you have to work on a lot of challenges together. Traveling too, that can be challenging because if you have different personalities for work and travel, and then you have to travel fast too. So there's just too many elements, and you're kind of working out everything as you go. Yeah.
what for someone that has traveled so much and seen the world, what were you like surprised by yourself by being in one place? Like I know like when the COVID started, I travel a lot too, and I was like, wow, like I discovered all these new things that I love to do. Is there something you like discovered about yourself or things that you realized, wow, I really like doing this?
Hmm. Let's see. Well, I think for Ruben, he was able to more zoned in about the fact that he really wants to travel the whole time, the rest of his life. He's like, I think this time is really making him feel that All I want is to travel. So that's why he was able to, so he tested the van travel when he was back in Europe. And he was thinking, so now he's just working on the blog. And when travel lockdowns are easier, he will definitely travel again. And the difference is that I'm realizing that um, maybe we need to travel a little bit slower than usual so that we could appreciate not only the places that we're visiting, but actually even appreciate the partnership better. Because you never know what will happen like in this time. Like we didn't know the travel will stop. We didn't know that we are going to be separated for a long time and things like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, and also I think a lot of focus on being healthy and growing internally. That's something that we appreciated and more this past year because when you travel a lot, you're kind of seeing new things all the time. And
Yeah.
now that you're stuck in one place for a really long time, there's just so many possibly negative feelings associated to that, a lot of fear and a lot of things, and we realized that we needed more focus on our mental health and how we see life when you're just in one place, like how can you keep yourself happy when you can't see the world, something
Or
like
how can you grow? Like I'm like the type that I like to read books and I like to discover new things and I talk to a lot of people all the time. Like I felt like do you feel when you're seeing all these places and you're just absorbing all this, you're growing so much, you're learning so much. So how can people that don't have access to that travel, like how can they grow themselves and keep learning and like get, it's almost like an addiction, that
that.
discovery excitement feeling when you see new things. You're like, wow, this is so cool. And or your like brain feels like it opens up.
Yeah, that's true. I personally, I actually felt like I can't handle not seeing and meeting new people. Like I had to go to different platforms and communities to talk to new people. Like try different apps just to meet new people, even just in this local, just in the city or just in Zoom, for example, because um, I just felt like I was an extrovert trapped in my home and I cannot even go out. And yeah, and I needed so much new energy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way to just like talk to other people, just to like get ideas or just yeah, open up your mind.
Yeah.
Um, well, the Philippines is probably one of the most beautiful places on earth. Do you have any plans to show people that?
Definitely. To be honest, Philippines is it's so easy to call it home because there's just so many beautiful places to show here.
Yeah.
And even if we've been to some of the top places to visit here, there's always something new to show when we come back to those places. So um, there's a lot of fear right now when it comes to health, of course, but we are definitely just looking forward to showing a lot of it, hopefully this year. Yeah.
What do you want to show? Like, what are a few things?
Well, I would say a lot of the parts of the Philippines that are not very touristy, but are actually as beautiful as the touristic islands. Like I would say, when tourists come here, they probably have the three most popular islands in their mind that they want to travel to, and there's just so much places in the Philippines you can go to without going that are as beautiful as those islands. So off the beaten paths are definitely one of our biggest goals to show in the Philippines.
That's awesome. Do you have any names, sneak peeks, or should we wait?
Well, I think that we actually started doing a lot of off the beaten path islands like Camiguin and Batanes, but we're still we still wanted to show a lot of the islands. Like some people, because there's a lot of misconception that when you go, sometimes they think that it's unsafe, that is not safe to go here. So we always want to educate people like the best way to travel to off the beaten places. So, so that they go educated, not scared, and of course make the best choices when they go to those places. So, yeah.
Great. Last question. What's your favorite way to research before you go somewhere new?
Ooh, I would say definitely definitely Instagram and Pinterest, like two very visual platforms. Um, it's funny because now instead of Googling, people go to Instagram and search for places, and when you follow some of your inspiration for travel. You just want to see and recreate the photos and experiences that they're creating. So yeah, definitely that's we also do the same. So yeah,
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Rachel, for coming on.
thank you so
Stay
much.
safe. Bye.
You too. Bye.
Bye bye.